Hi, and welcome inside the ESPN NBA studios. Kevin Connors, 10-year NBA veteran Tim Legler, ESPN NBA insider Chris Broussard, former NBA Coach of the Year and Eastern Conference champion Mike Brown. We are almost at the All-Star break in the NBA. Miami Heat already with 40-plus wins. Legs, where they are and where you thought they would be. How does the Miami's season stack up right now?
Actually, for me, from a record standpoint, I think they're better off than I thought they would be at this point. They got off to that slow start. I didn't think they had a chance to recover to the extent that they have. Now you're talking about a back-and-forth situation with Boston, really, for the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And I think they're in a great position right now to grab that #1 seed and over that last 25 to 30 games because they've got the fresh legs, they got the youth on their side with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, and I think they're a team that is going to be more important and a greater sense of urgency to get the #1 seed. So you really can't ask much more than what they've done. They've positioned themselves to potentially host the entire Eastern Conference playoffs in their building. There's not much more you can ask than that.
Chris?
I think their record's fine, but I think they've got a long way to go in terms of offensive execution. Defensively, they've become the best or one of the best defensive teams in the league, and that's good. But offensively, we saw it against Boston last weekend. I think they struggled down the stretch of games with their execution. I think that's a big reason they're only 1-6 against the elite teams in the league. They can beat the average, mediocre teams just on talent alone, with LeBron or Wade, going crazy. But when it comes to those teams like Dallas and Boston, Chicago, teams that are disciplined defensively and lock them out of the paint, they really struggle, and they haven't won those games. So I think they've got a long way to go. They've got, 29 games left to really get it together offensively. I think that's the biggest challenge they have for them over the remainder of the season.
Mike?
Hey, you know what? I'm going to agree with both of them. I'm going to agree with Legs in terms of record-wise. I think that they're sitting pretty good, and they do have a chance to get the #1 seed going into the playoffs. But, again, I think they have to play a little bit better against teams like Boston, Chicago. They obviously played Orlando well a couple of times, but against those teams to garner some confidence going into the playoffs, because confidence for a new group of guys that have been put together as quickly as these guys have and expected to win as much as they have is a big thing.
That'll do it for us. For Mike Brown, Chris Broussard, and Tim Legler, I'm Kevin Connors.